Recording with external microphone, that's not what we want. So, hey, universe. I'm recording with the external microphone anymore. So let's put this where it belongs. And tell you that it's 1:52 in the morning. Here on... Nope, it's 1:51 in the morning. My fault. Clickety clack. On the 6th of January? Correct. Friday. 6th of January. In the year of Blue Dream. Oh, speaking of which, you know what? I'm going to hit a bowl of Blue Dream right now, if possible. Yum, yummity, yum, yummity, yum, 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 yum. Okay, and since it's the rare occasion when I'm hitting the pipe with the green... Yeah. I've been hitting the pipe all day. It's been nice. Been cycling between about 5 to 7 varieties of marijuana. We'll just call it 6, because you know me. I'm kidding. But listening back through some of my initial episodes, I do realize how poor I am when it comes to trying to quantify numerically almost anything. But I don't have to quantify anything numerically to go back through episode 5, except to add on episode 6. Because last year, on the 6th of January, I put out 2 episodes. One at 2 in the morning and one after work, so I assume in the evening. So I have episodes 5 and 6 here reviewed to go through and see how relevant or timely the information therein still is. Trying to think if I have anything of value to share since I did an episode 2 hours ago. Nope. Let's move on. And did I do an episode 2 hours ago? Well, I started that one, 3 hours ago. So, this is not like me to just bang out another episode 3 hours later, but doing these reviews is giving me material that keeps me from having to mine the nuggets of the day. However, I will not be doing another episode today because this is it. It's Friday. It is Friday as of 2 hours ago. This is my day off. I'm off until Saturday at 12:30. And I was going to take mushrooms again. I'm not sure if that's going to be the plan. But one plan is not going to be to do a bunch of more podcasts. So this will be it for the day. If you're listening to this one, I'll see you tomorrow. If you're not listening to this one, then you're finally doing the right thing and being sensible with your life. All right. But in being sensible with my life, in episode 5 of Wait What? Which is also episode 5 of It's All My Fault, I titled it, You'd Think I'd Stop Talking to Myself So Much, but no. Okay, let's go through the grades real quick. Sniffling, D+. This one's bad. Lose thoughtedness, I gave an A. I don't know if I lose my thought once. In the earlier stages, I came a lot more prepared. I felt like I had to be, there were certain topics that I was putting in note form to make sure that I covered them thoroughly and as I wanted to present them. Like dream deja vu or something would be an example. So I think loose thoughtedness will get a lot worse. But for the first 5 episodes, I was pretty on point. My sniffling grade here, I gave myself a D+. I already said that. I was going to grade myself on the woo-woo-ness in this episode, but there really isn't any. So I gave myself an incomplete. And then I was going to grade myself on my fuck grade, forgiveness, understanding, and kindness. And I would say I got a C+ here. In fact, I'm not sure I mentioned understanding in this episode even once. But what you going to do? All right. You'd think I'd stop talking to myself so much, but no. For some reason, I felt compelled to share this one at 2 a.m. In other words, I started the recording at 2 a.m. after I had recorded something at 6 p.m. the night before. And what got me so shaken that I had to do this while I lay not being able to fall asleep was because I didn't circle back on how I misread the universe, which I don't even really remember being that big a deal in episode 4, but I guess it was a hang up for me enough that I had to record this at 2 in the morning. And I really do not need a reminder there are people in the world who are more in need than me. I don't even know why remotely I said that. I've always known that. It was something I've been cognizant of since I could understand language. My parents always drilled into us that there were people needier than us out there that could use our help. So the idea that that had to be reinforced is dumb, because it's not true. All right. I really needed... Oh, yeah. I really needed that $70 I lost and was doing what I could to justify its disappearance out of my life karmically. And then in grammatic form saying stupid things like, well, it'll keep me from spending money. You know what losing $70 does? It keeps you from spending $70. Instead, it's like you set it on fire. Now, the No Shit Sherlock Award goes to that statement, but it probably could have gone to 3 or 4 in here. There were some duds like that one. And I recently did come home with a Roma tomato by accident. And it was because I had my gloves and a Roma tomato. I was carrying too much shit, obviously. And I didn't have gloves, I had mittens. And I'd sandwiched the Roma tomato in the mittens as a holding place while I had it between my elbow. So when I folded my mittens over themselves to stick them in my pocket, my jacket pocket, I folded the Roma tomato in there. And honestly, I had completely forgotten about it by the time I went to pay and got home. Didn't even realize it then. But as I'm going through all my stuff an hour later to find my keys, my wallet, whatever I have, I empty the pockets of my jacket and the goddamn Roma tomato's in there. And I'm like, ugh. So while I'm speaking about theft in this episode, I have had a recent episode where I came home. And it's one of those instances where you're like, fuck, do I go pay for this Roma tomato, do the right thing? It's only a 4-block walk. And then you're like, wow, that's 75 cents. So I haven't paid for that Roma tomato. Which means, of course, that I'm going to lose something like my phone charger or who knows what. But the loss of that wallet, well, I'm not going to... We'll follow the narrative all the way through to its conclusion on March 29th. I don't... Oh. Am I on the journey of a lunatic? No. Clearly I'm not. Next one. I so don't care to judge myself or others in a capacity that's limiting. Yes. This is probably the best statement in the entire recording. I mean, maybe this is obvious, but I have gone out of my way to find measures and quantifications. Yeah, those are identical. Okay. When I'm sizing people up now, I'm never doing it in a way that's limiting. I always think, what huge potential is there to be tapped that's untapped currently? And I see people that way. They reveal themselves to me that way. I know them to be that way. And that makes me happy. Just to know that I'm seeing the world as its possibility to be great instead of its current stagnation and tendency to be awful. In some ways, I wanted to be smothered. Well, like smothered in a cloudy secondhand smoke fog of Blue Dream exhale? No. No, I wanted to be smothered by the I wonder if suffocated is a better word. I wanted to be boy, how do you put this, Phoebe? In some ways, I wanted to be I'm too high to think about that one. I what I really meant here is that I wanted come here, Phoebe. What I really meant here is that not that I wanted to be smothered. I wanted to be overwhelmed. I wanted to be subject to a regimen so tightly wound there was no gap for uncertainty. Something like that of the boot camp in an armed service. Just overwhelmed with responsibility or accountability to the point that there was no decision making necessary. I kind of longed for that as I was creating a world that was less and less recognizable as anything close to that. I don't know. So why I even wanted to not let my stoner brain go away from that one, I don't know. Let's go away from it now, though. Have I overcome my tendency to be shifty? Yeah. I mean, I'm still a little shifty sometimes, especially when it comes to other people and their ways of maintaining the mediocrity in which they've mired themselves within. I don't go punch those people in their clown nose and see if I can bop them down and back up again into a better reality. I mostly just let them be. To me, that feels a little shifty. I'm not shifty in interpersonal relationships anymore. I just am not as confrontational with those I think I can help as I used to be. That makes me feel a little shifty. You can hear that I love working at the Sprouts meat counter, at least when it comes to the customers. And I did. They were great customers. The best I've ever encountered. In fact, they made my day better because they would always be in such a good mood. Especially the mood they would be in by the time they left the meat counter. I miss them. And not just the really unbelievably good-looking women, but also the families, the grandmothers, the guys, I guess. I mean, guys love meat. Hell, women love meat. People who buy meat love meat. I didn't really know this, because when I buy meat, it's like, I don't know. And now I don't even eat it, so when do I buy meat? The only thing good about working at the meat counter was Phoebe fucking loved it. And the cat probably loved it too. She likes bacon and shit. Okay, Phoebe, stop it. I always thought I'd be a great cab driver. I still think I'd be a great cab driver. I'm a very good driver, a very efficient driver, a very fast driver, and I love having conversations with people in 20 to 40 minute bursts. What wouldn't I be great at? Attorney? Terrible. Would have been a terrible attorney. I'd probably be in jail. Am I aimless? No. But I was for quite some time. No longer. If you aren't happy with your circumstance, how hard are you looking to be happy? That statement is held up for a year. I am plenty happy in my circumstance. I don't have to look to be happy. I find it every day. It finds me. But if it wasn't finding me, I would be finding it. Am I a somewhat social person, a very social person, or a not social person? Well, I'm all of the above, really. But lately, I've been a very social person. So when will I flex back into being a not social person? Probably tomorrow. But until then, yeah, let's go dream some more blue dreams. Pause. Okay. I haven't fallen asleep and gone into full dreamlike state yet, but it could happen at any moment. Well, probably can't, but, well, it is 2:11 in the morning, so even for me, it's getting sleepy time. But before nodding off, let's finish up the last episode from January 6th of the year of the hybrid. And here the January 6th, year of the Blue Dream reflection of 1 year hence. How's it going? Well, the last episode I ended up with on the 6th of January last year was, this would be a big victory. Right, Phoebe? Yes. Phoebe needs something from me. I'm going to figure that out before we go too far. She'll be interrupting for the rest of the podcast, and we don't need that. Pause. Okay, well, apparently we were all hungry, so while everybody's getting a little snack on, I'm going to hit pause, and we'll be back when everybody's finished the kibbles. Yeah, no. You know that thing where I said my dog would no longer eat dog chow? Yep, still going on. Sitting over there, that Purina cat chow indoor green bag that little kitty loves so much. Well, that's all Phoebe will eat now. Seriously. A dog will only eat cat food. That's, just a statement that Purina's fucking with dog chow because we are on year 11 and a half. And for 11 and a quarter years, all we ate was dog chow. And now all we eat is cat chow. Come on, Purina, what'd you do to the dog chow? Okay, I think the kibble factor is down to 0 again. Oop, Phoebe may have found one more. Kitty may be sitting on one, you never know, but I think we can proceed. Alright. This would be a big victory. My grading here, the categories I went with were... For my fuck grade, I gave myself a D. I don't know if I bring up forgiveness, understanding, or kindness. I probably bring up one of them at some point, but it's not in this episode, but a little bit, if at all. Then I threw out that I was going to judge myself on my depth, my I'm so cool factor, and my how Looney Tunes can I get factor. My Looney Tunes factor was a B+, which means there's not a whole lot of Looney Tunes in here. My depth was a C, which means there's not a whole lot of depth in here. And my I'm so cool factor was an A-, which means I don't really think of myself as so cool in this one. So I guess those are good. Except for the fuck grade. But it was about time I got a low fuck grade. Quit fucking around. How was I strained by losing that $70? No, I'm sorry. Wow, was I strained by losing that $70. I remember trying to play that off like it was no big deal, like I was going to get by, and I did, but it was a big deal. Like, that was literally my padding money for 10 days that disappeared, and I stretched to get to that next paycheck, to say the least, especially because I fucked up my pay. So not only did I lose $70, but I also lost out on 100 and something in overtime pay overall. Which all caught up in 2 weeks, but damn, when you live literally penny to penny, $70 is a lot of money to drop. I live as a pauper intentionally to help myself stay balanced. That's true. Excess cash is not something I need, ever. In fact, if I had a windfall of some exorbitant amount of money, I would just give it all away. There'd be nothing else to do with it. Does money equal control? Yes. I've spoken about this plenty. I will speak about it more again. That's a very topical issue at the moment, especially with the hyperinflation going on and shit. But yes. I don't need stuff. I need experiences. Agreed. Times 1,000. Times 1,614.7. Maintaining a pauper's existence is not easy. It's gotten harder the cost of fucking everything makes it even harder. And just the creative fines and fees they come up with. My $85 a month first bill at AT&T is $158 because, of course it is. We all know it is. $85 a month. That's what that line costs. So what's my first bill? $158. Fuckers. Okay. And just being fucked with by the corporations is enough to ruin your life, to be honest. My Lily experiment was an incomplete. She didn't play, so there's some stuff in there that doesn't come to fruition. I talk about bias in the universe, but bias doesn't exist in the universe. It's created, and it's created by us. It's created by sentient beings who are manipulating time and space. Well, not time and space, but manipulating matter in a time-space continuum. Like us. And so the fact that we create bias is our own fault. We don't have to. There's no reason for bias. We've just been set up in a paradigm in which bias exists and have come to understand bias as something that is, as such, inherent in the system. But it's not. Bias is a human construct and one that you usually are fed your biases. You don't earn them. But sometimes you can earn them. And that can happen. Phoebe is going nuts. I say it's not naturally. It doesn't naturally occur. That's true. You don't go into the universe and discover bias toward a certain outcome. No. The universe is structurally set up to remove bias. We are unfortunately stupid enough to re-enter it as a variable. Did I stop the karmic bombs? Yes and no. There's a huge one coming at work, but yeah, otherwise, totally. And in fact, have been getting karmic flower blossoms ever since. Which is another reason why I know what I did at Sprouts was the right thing. I'm embarrassed that I explained that getting served was a metaphor. I mean, honestly, that is underestimating your audience. I now know why sorrow exists. I didn't really then, so I guess I learned that last year. And I'm not direct in saying it, but I'm indirect in saying I needed to get Lily out of my plans. I didn't know this at the time. I didn't know this for months. But that's some of the hesitancy I'm experiencing there, is still thinking that she's involved in what's going to happen next, but that turns out not to be true at all. Have I been displaying a life that I'm not living? Nope. Didn't do that at all in the year of the hybrid. And haven't done it, nor will it happen in the year of the Blue Dream. And my intuition is definitely back. Probably stronger than it's ever been. In fact, it seems expansive in a way that I'm never surprised when my intuition is telling me something now. In fact, I've come to expect my intuition to kick in when I know I'm in spaces where there are variables unknown. My intuition starts serving up immediately what the situation probably is. And it's been right. It's been right so much that, well, I'm not going to go play poker. But right now, I would trust my intuition. Shit. Why did I bring up gambling? Gambling is such a Achilles heel for me that we're going to take my intuition to a completely different spot. Interpersonal relationships have been on hold for almost a decade. And my intuition has been screaming at me to go forward in fronts that some are initiated, some are in process, and some are on hold. But as I move through these, let's see how strong my intuition is there. Because one of the reasons that I pulled back for so long was I felt my intuition had left me. So now that I believe squarely that it's in my corner once again in full force? Well, I would say it's being tested in real time in that capacity. So I'll check back with you in a month or two, and we'll just see what kind of progress I'm making. But from now until then, believe in this. My intuition and I are in lockstep. I hope yours is too.